Tonight on Jab Scrap Customs, we're going to be ripping the front of the buggy. We got to look at the front axle shafts at the U-joints, figure out what's going on with those. We're going to see if they can be rebuilt because it's got Yukon Super Joints in it. If not, well, we're about to find out what we can do with it. And we're also going to be tinkering around with the buggy and work on some other stuff, kind of some stuff that needs some attention from years of neglect. So one of the things we got going on is the front U-joints. They're a little wallered out. So we're going to tear the front of the buggy apart tonight, get the shafts out, and see what we can do with them. See if they're rebuildable, or if we got to get new ones. Corey's back here messing with a new third member for his Geo so that he can put this in with some chromoly shafts.
V6 housing.
Yeah, so that's what's going on back here in the corner. Before I misjudge the size of the DOM, oops. Alright, it's out. The DOM was about the same diameter as the inner race, and it kind of pressed itself onto the pinion as well, but we got it without messing it up, so
all good.
All good. Just a little whoopsie, not a big one. Alright, so it looks like we got a snap ring, a couple snap rings, and then we're probably gonna have to disassemble. There would probably be a nut in there, take the wheel bearing off, get all this off, and then we'll be able to get to those bolts back there, and then hopefully the shafts come out. Like I said, I'm kind of learning as we go here. I have not taken this front end apart. I think I was in here to grease and tighten up the wheel bearings at one point, but not past that. Alright, so right now, starting to bolt in to see if I can pull on that bolt to get the slug out of here. There we go. Slug is out. Now we're to the nut for the wheel bearings. So I don't have the proper tool for this nut. We're gonna have to go and get one, but for right now, we're gonna do the no-no thing. And we're gonna use a chisel and a hammer. Okay, so that is the nut that we need to go get a tool for, and I'm hoping we can get to the other one that's farther in there. Okay, those are out, so now in theory, there it is. So now that is off, we should just be able to pop those bolts out, those nuts off there, slide the spindle off, and I think the shaft should come out after that, but we'll find out. Okay, you might cringe, but it's copper. So, we got a grease zerk that's hanging up, and that's why it won't come out. We're gonna have to get the grease zerk out of there, and we can get that shaft out, see what's going on. So we got the shaft out. We ended up having to pull all the grease zerks, even though this was the only one that was really hanging up. Once I got that one out, these little guys, it's all that was holding us from pulling the shaft out. So that'll be kind of fun if we ever have to pull a shaft on the trail. We have to pull all the little zerks out as well. But shaft's out. Maybe we'll look into doing an axle seal as well before we put it back together. There's the U-joints we gotta look into. Shaft's a little rusty through here, so maybe we'll look into putting a new seal there, because there's like some mud and just nastiness. Maybe we'll pull the third member out. I don't know. Might not be a bad idea. Just put some eyes on the third member. Just a bunch of nasty mud and everything else. Good old East Coast wheeling. But that side's out, so now we're just going to repeat the process on the other side. Get that shaft out and then get the U-joints out and see what they look like. So we got that side apart. We're going to hurry up, rip this side apart, get the shaft out of it. We'll get over there to the bench and we'll see what we got to do. Alright, so it's hard to see, but we got all the retaining clips undone. Had to really work at those because all this is never sees, or I believe it's never sees. It's a special grease that they call for in these super joints, but from what I've read, everyone pretty much says it's never sees. And it's all gummed up from being pushed out. So all this is just nasty. I'd use the pick and it was not fun. So all those are undone. Now I get to go through and grind all the tack welds off the caps and start getting this U-joint apart and see how bad everything really is. They're not even moving. Might have to heat them up. Might have to put them in the press. So I'm gonna keep messing with this, and we'll see where we get with it. All right, so we got one of the U-joints out. Let's see if we can add some white to this. So they're kind of rough. So I don't know what I want to do yet. You can kind of see the wear marks in the joint. But we got shafts out, or that shaft apart. Now I'm going to start on this one. I ended up having to beat the U-joint out of the one end, and then I was able to press it. Kind of came up with this to press that one out. I ended up putting the like this. So the ears were hanging out. I put the caps on them and pressed it down, flipped it, was able to get it out. So that's what I came up with for that. Now we get to repeat the process, get the other U-joint out, see how bad it is, and then figure out if we're going to buy new U-joints, if we can get away with just putting the rebuild kits on them. I don't know. I don't want to waste money on the rebuild kit. That's the problem, because the rebuild kit is $150 a side. I don't really want to spend the money on new super joints. It's more so I just don't have the money right now to spend the money on super joints, because they're not cheap. So when I get this other side done, we'll see where we're at. Okay. Sketchy. Doesn't want none. That one's being stubborn. The other one, of course, since I didn't have it on camera, came right out. This one is being stubborn. Okay, we're back at the press. Got it out of this side of the shaft. I was an idiot. I forgot one of the C-clips. I think we're about done for the night, because we're starting to make mistakes. Let's see if this presses out. There we go. Okay, so that's how it should have gone. So we're going to do the other side, and this U-joint will be out of the shaft, finally. So once again, we got the same thing going on with this U-joint. That's what I would have liked to have seen on all of them. Just a little bit of wear. But instead we got a lot of pitting going on. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but it's a part. We got some other stuff we got to focus on, and we'll make a decision in the meantime. But U-joints are out, so we're heading in the right direction. Now we're going to pick up the mess so we can have a fresh start and try and get better about cleaning up as we go, so we don't end up with a huge mess. Get this all cleaned up and